Hello guys, and we are back in my garage. So, as you can see, I've got my brand spanking new battery for my Flex E board by Slick Revolution. Slick Revolution boys, I don't have enough thumbs to give you thumbs up. I've reported this issue with the battery on Monday, and I have proved the issue by using a video, which is the best way to do it. And today is Wednesday, and I've got my brand spanking new battery for my board. So yesterday we did cover taking the old battery off your board. Please check out my video, and that's called part 1, battery replacement tutorial. Please like it if you did like it. If you didn't like it, please let me know why you didn't, and I will make the changes I require to so that you do like it. Well, that came out a bit strange, but anyway, so let's get started with part 2. Part 2. So guys, after you unpackaged your brand new battery and admired the quality of this battery and flexibility of this battery, and this is why this is the Flex board, Flex E board, because it flexes, what you need to do is put it back together. So one thought that I had. So guys, when I was here yesterday taking the board apart, what I had realized is that the connectors of the battery on a Flex E board, like this one here, you see the red one here, I'll show you in a second. So like this one here, it is exactly the same as on any other either RC helicopter, like I have 3 of them, and I fly them. That's the smallest one I've got, and actually have built it from scratch. And it's the same on quite a lot of different models of IC vehicles. And the battery is looking something like this. Okay, it does have a control wire here, don't worry about this, but this is most important bit. You see this? The connector is exactly the same as on the Flex E board. So if you guys are familiar with any IC models, like cars, trucks, whatever you might have, or helicopters like this helicopter here, you would be changing this battery after every, whatever, 5-7 minutes, depending on the battery of the flight. So my thoughts are, if you replace this battery so often on any other flying model or whatever not, using this connector, this means that this battery here, and this is only my prototype thought if you wish, that means that this battery here for Flex E board could be replaceable quite often. So connection between the battery and the board is quite durable, and it is meant for multiple usage, same as this kind of battery for the helicopter flying or the IC model operation. So my thoughts were, why not to come up with an idea how to have a quick replaceable or quickly replaceable battery for Flex E board. Okay, this is only a very raw idea of mine, but I am an engineer by trade, so I am confident I will come up with a very good solution, and I will share it with you guys. So whoever is interested to see my idea on how to have another spare battery, because you can actually replace it quite quickly and comfortably. Please subscribe and stay tuned, because very shortly, as soon as all the parts that I need will come in, I will do a new video on a battery fast replacement system. Okay, so that's a little treat. Let's see if you guys stick around. So guys, the first step for putting the new battery back on your board, if you remember, I did recommend to store all your bolts in some sort of container. I used the glass jar, little tiny jar. So what you do is you get all your bolts out in your palm and you assemble it before you do anything. So you take your bolt, you take the split ring first and put it on the bolt, and then you put a flat washer on it, just like that. Sandwich them up. So the bolt head, the split washer, and then the flat washer. The split washer is so that your bolt doesn't come loose. So you prep all 10 of your bolts just like so, ready to be assembled on your board. So after you assembled all your bolts with washers, what you do is, step number 2, let's say, is you take the connector on the battery itself, which is a female connector, and you plug it back to the connector on the speed controller. You cannot make any mistakes, because as I said in my part 1, there's only one way you can connect it, due to the connectors being vertical and horizontal. So what you do is just push them together as close as you can, just like so. Bang. Just a quick tip guys, if you remember the needle nose pliers I was using to pull the screws out, I just put the pliers across the 2 contacts just to bring them together as close as possible so they touch each other, just like that. And the next step, what you do is you do align the battery with the speed controller, just like so. You lift one end up, because that will help you to connect this side here. There are like lips here that need to go under the speed controller part here. That's why you lift one side up. So when you go under, just like this, you wiggle the battery, same way as when you were taking it apart, and you connect the battery back to your speed controller, just like so. Okay guys, so now when you connected your battery electronically, so the cable is connected, you've pushed it into the speed controller, and the scene is nice and clean and tight, like on the picture. You line up the holes in the battery with the holes on the board, and what you're going to start doing is you're going to take your Allen key, either your own or the one provided with the Rough Stuff Wheels kit, and you will then reinstate the bolts back to their original position. The easiest way to do it is to put the bolt, the Allen screw or the Allen bolt, whatever you call it, with all the washers on it, on a tip of the Allen key, just like that, and then centralize it to the hole through the battery. But please take your time and make sure that you catch it correctly, meaning make sure the screw is straight into the board, like 90 degrees to the board. It's not in an angle, in any weird angle, and you keep on screwing it in. Don't force it, do not cross thread the bolt. You'll see it's going in nice and smooth. If there's any resistance, take it out and do it again, because if you will cross thread this bolt, you will either ruin the bolt or the thread inside the deck, and the thread inside the deck is brass and the screws are steel, so most likely you will ruin the thread in the board itself, in the deck. So please take care, don't rush. It's only 10 of them, so just take your time, put the screw through the hole, make sure you can see that the holes line up, and just like that, one-handed, nice and easy, turn it clockwise, and you can see the screw is disappearing in the thread without any force. That means you caught it just right, and that's the only way. Please trust me on this. Do not tighten every single screw straight away when you're just putting it in. What you need to do is start from the back with these two screws here, catch them, meaning make sure it goes in 3 or 4 turns, full turns. Make sure that yes, it's going in nice and smooth, so you know you did not cross thread it. Then catch the rest the same way, but do not wind it all the way in straight away, because if you have to wiggle the battery just a little bit to get the holes to line up, if you got some of the screws tight, you won't be able to do so. So catch these screws first, all of them, make sure they all went in, make sure all the holes lined up, make sure you caught them all, did not cross thread them all, and then what you do is you tighten them up in diagonal. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Yeah, doesn't matter 1, 2, 3, but all I'm saying is tighten them up, one on one side, across another side, across another side, across another side, and you do that all the way through. Okay, do not over tighten them screws. Do not over tighten them, please, because the battery is plastic. The case of the battery is plastic, and if you tighten it too much, you'll break the case here. You don't want to do that. So you got to make sure it's tight enough, but as soon as you feel quite a lot of resistance, what you do is take a look at the bolt, and if you can see that the split washer is actually compressed, you're good to go. Don't need to go further than that. Okay? And remember, you will need 2.5mm Allen key. 2.5mm. So, as you saw, I just tighten up all my screws. I've inspected them all. They all went down to compress the split ring. And this is it, guys. You got yourself a brand new battery installed just like that. Very simple, very good design for battery that is not meant to be removable fast. This is actually an absolutely spot on design. So as you can see, battery did come in with a little bit of charge on it, but obviously it's not enough for what I need it to be. The battery needs to be fully charged before you use it. It does state in the manual. So what we do is, last step is, let's charge the battery, and that's all we have to do. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, as I mentioned before, it's very important for guys like myself, especially the guys who just started, is for people to subscribe, share the videos and like, because, well, it makes us feel good. If you guys like the video and subscribe and things like that, that means that we've done a good job. And I do try. I really do try. If I'm doing something wrong, as I said before, please guys mention to me. I haven't had any replies back on this subject, but if If you want me to change anything, or if you have any suggestions how to make my videos better and more likable, please let me know. Okay, so I hope this helped you, and safe riding.